And it is Monday, March 16th. You're watching the Sick Podcast. Trust the process. And we are in studio in person today. Why not? We haven't done this in a while, and we always enjoy doing it. We have the nice setup. Obviously, the Sick Podcast does not do anything by half measure. We full ass everything, never half ass. All right. So we have a fun show in store for you today. Obviously, it's Monday, so we're talking Habs. More specifically, an update on the top prospects. How are they doing? Could they join the Habs at the end of the season or next season? What's the timeline for them? We're also going to discuss the NCAA free agency starting up. The Laval Rocket already signed someone. Will they sign more players? We're going to give an update on that. And of course, we have 3 great mailbag questions in the queue. It's a packed show, and it all starts right here, right now.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Trust the process. The sickest NHL prospect podcast with Snake and Shayne.
With the 5th overall selection in the 2024 NHL Draft, the Montreal Canadiens are proud to select Ivan Demidov.
It's gonna be sick.
That's right, producer Shayne here, joined as always by my counterpart, Simon the Snake Boisvert. Snake, how are we feeling today?
Feeling good. Love being here.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. And
in
I know
in person.
Yeah, you had a fun weekend. You were in attendance for the Habs versus Sharks.
Yes, I was.
I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts on that game.
Number 71.
I think that's pretty easy, eh?
Yeah.
That's pretty easy. Oh, wow. What a player.
Yeah, it was it was a fun evening. It was a tight game because although the score was 4-2, there was an empty net goal.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see Jacob Fowler, but they had Dobesh in the net. I think I think that game, and a lot of people have been talking about it, I think it kind of highlighted the fact that the Habs need to get tougher on defense. They need to play much better in their zone, because offense is not a problem. They generate a lot of scoring chances. You know, Caulfield scored a great goal, and same with Suzuki, nice shot.
Yep.
And they, the problem is not scoring goals. Problem is once the other team is in the Habs zone,
they do whatever they want.
It's very hard for them to get the puck out of the zone.
Yep.
And we saw it last night with Cutter Gauthier, who basically was left on his own. I think Kapanen didn't cover him. That's what I think that's what I saw. But it's more like it's not just one player or two. It's
the collective.
So is it the players? Is it the system? Is it the coaching? I don't know. But this obviously is not good with the playoffs approaching.
No, exactly. And, anybody who knows hockey can point it out, the fact that it's too easy in the Habs zone for the opposition. And, quick shout out to the Sick Podcast with Tony Marinaro. Last night, he had NHL Hall of Fame defenseman Chris Pronger on the show, and I thought he illustrated it perfectly. It's a commitment issue, right? That's what it boils down to. When I watch the Habs play, it just feels like they're trying to cheat the defense, right? They're not fully committed. They're not giving everything they have. But at the same time, it might also be a personnel issue, right? You just might not have the right defensive pieces in play. So, Snake, let's tackle that first and foremost, because you mentioned that the offense isn't an issue, and it's not. The Habs have scored the 5th most goals in the NHL this season. But like you mentioned, the defense is an issue. They've allowed the 9th most goals in the NHL.
And you can blame some of the goaltending this year. But look, Fowler last night against Anaheim, I don't think he was bad.
There's not one goal there that you can blame him.
No. And Dobesh was fine on
same thing
on Saturday. He was pretty good, I would say. So he kept the Habs in the game. But the problem is really the defense. I think personnel has something to do with it. Maybe too many players who are not made to do this type of job.
Right.
You remember when the Habs reached the finals in 2021, sometimes we were complaining, they don't have a puck mover, which was true. But, all these guys like Chirot, Edmondson, Weber, man, they clean up
Shoulders. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you need a balance.
Yeah.
Two, maybe three offensive guys, and really three steady, reliable, stay-at-home defensemen
Yeah.
who can get at least clean up the front of the net, get the puck out of the zone. Like you don't need 6 Lane Hudsons.
No, that's it.
Yeah,
you're going to score a lot of goals, but
6 Lane Hudsons. I mean, this is not.
You need diversity a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this is something that has to be tackled by Habs management. I know they gave a very long-term contract to Mike Madison. Some people like him a lot. Some people like him less. I think Madison probably plays too much.
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
I think that's what it is. I think on a third pairing, playing less, I think he would be an asset for the Habs. I think if you give him too many minutes, his defensive issues get exposed.
Yeah.
And that was his problem when he was in Florida and Pittsburgh. That's why Pittsburgh practically gave him away.
Yeah. For Paling and Sherrod.
Remember.
Paling and Petrie, correct.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, that's it. And look, a lot of people are saying, okay, well, maybe the pieces are there, but they're just not in the right chair, as Marty likes to say, right? This chair analogy. You have a left shot defenseman and Lane Hudson playing on his offside.
Yeah.
All of that, I think there's some truth in all of it. But looking forward now, and our job here at Trust the Process is looking ahead and trying to predict the future as best as we can. Are the pieces that the Habs are sorely missing already within the organization? Do you think there's any prospects that could fill those roles that we've been talking about?
That's a good question, because most, the best prospects are, again, offensive players.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at.
So at some point, something's got to give. And I've been saying it for a couple of years now. I think one of the big offensive pieces that we all love will have to go.
Yeah. Redundancy.
Yeah. There's a little bit of redundancy. And, I love offense. I love offensive players. I always say that you have to draft talent.
Of course.
And I think that's what they did. And I'm fine with drafting Hage and Zorowski and Pickford and all these guys. I'm all for it. But at some point, my point is you draft talent and then you use these assets to fill out your needs as they become obvious.
Makes sense.
So right now, we're talking about, a guy like Owen Protz, perhaps, but they're very, very, there are ways to go before these guys can make the NHL. Bryce Pickford, don't count on him to clean up the net.
No, that's
the guys, the guys, I wouldn't say problem, but the thing that could keep Pickford out of the NHL is actually his game in the defensive zone. His positioning and everything, I think you can learn it, but he's going to need probably a couple of years on Laval, even if he has great offensive numbers. So you don't need another Pickford right now.
No.
And that's the thing. So now Arbor Jackeye, is he a good enough hockey player to play 15, 16 minutes a game? I don't think so. Struble, I think Struble is kind of an interchangeable type of player.
Yeah.
You can find better than him. Where there's redundancy, perhaps, is a guy like Alexandre Carrier, in the sense that Alexandre Carrier, if you don't have the type of player that he is on your roster, he's fine. You bring him along. But if you already have a better version of him or better versions of him, then is he the right guy to have in a mix? I always say that a defensive core of 6 players is the idea of getting the right mix. Look at the Florida Panthers.
Yes.
Did they not have a real, genuine superstar? But look at the mix, how well it worked.
Perfect.
Ekblad and Forsling and all these guys.
Mikola.
It worked. And we saw it again. I remember when Carolina won the cup about 20 years ago. Everybody was saying, but they don't have a number one defenseman. No, but they had a great mix. So I think with the Habs, they have one very important piece, which is the offensive defenseman, Lane Hudson. So, and it's probably the hardest type of defenseman to find, because there are no 32 Lane Hudsons in the National Hockey League. Not every team has a great puck mover.
No, far from it.
So they have what is the hardest thing to find.
That's it. The
On
rest
defense.
can be done.
Look, Bergevin did it. At the time that he got Chirot, he got Edmonston. Sorry. You can get these guys very often for second, third, and fourth round picks. That's why we like Connor Murphy.
That's it. And he went for a second. And look, Pierre LeBrun did confirm that the Habs were in on Connor Murphy. He said it on Tony's show. But for whatever reason, that didn't work out. I don't know if they weren't willing to give an extra pick or something to beat Edmonton's offer. We'll never know.
Yeah, because probably Edmonton might have a better pick than the Habs.
That's a possibility.
So sometimes it's the difference between picking 44th and 54th.
Yeah.
Sometimes teams will analyze this, but they could have thrown in an extra fourth or something. I would have done it.
That's it.
But then again, is it really the year that the Habs need to spend assets? You know what? I'm a very patient guy when it comes to rebuilds.
Correct.
I think you are too. So I'm okay with the fact that they didn't do anything.
Yes.
They could have done something, but I'm okay with the fact because then you keep your assets for the years that you really need them. Colorado, Tampa, that's what they did.
Mm-hmm.
And so now they keep trading their picks. And Colorado, I think, has 3 picks in the next draft, and they have 4 picks in the last draft. But that's okay. That's okay. But had they traded these picks when they weren't ready to win, let's say the Habs start trading their 27 picks now.
Mm.
Let's say they had started trading those 27. Then you come to, I don't know, February 2027 in a year, you feel you're closer to the cup. But, I don't have a second round pick. I don't have a third round pick. So I'm okay with this, but they do need to get this. And I think help is going to come from the outside. I don't think it's going to come from Laval. I do not think it's going to come from the junior or NCAA players that they drafted.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it takes time for a young defenseman to become a good, steady, reliable defenseman. So you might as well let the other teams develop them. They do the job for you. Then when they're 26, 27, 28, then you acquire them. Just like Bergevin did a few years ago.
There you go. And Snake, I mean, I love the fact that you point out that, this year, who cares? The Habs are not going to win the cup this year. If anybody, okay, look, anything is possible. I'll give you that, right? Anything is possible.
1993.
But PSA here for anybody who thinks that this is the year and they should go for it. No. That's why this show is called Trust the Process. And Kent Hughes clearly follows the show or something because he is trusting the process. That's why he didn't rush anything. That's also why he's giving time for the internal pieces to develop, right? He's giving them opportunities, which leads us to our next discussion, Snake.
Yeah.
David Reinbacher.
Yeah.
That is, you try to build in your mind the type of player that the Habs would need right now, right? In a sense, it's kind of David Reinbacher or, the ceiling that we project for David Reinbacher.
I think it's more like the ceiling.
So that's why a lot of people are saying, call him up. And by the way, today, March 16th is the day that the Habs are allowed to call him up now. Yeah. Is it the right time or you let him cook in Laval?
You know what? It's a difficult question because I think it comes down to what we were discussing about Jacob Fowler.
Mm-hmm.
Should they, shouldn't they?
Yeah.
For a while, I was thinking, well, let them marinate in Laval. It doesn't matter, blah, blah, blah. Or you if they were winning and winning and winning, then you're thinking, well, don't break it up.
Yeah.
Now, really, what do they have to lose?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, their lead over the teams trying to catch up is really shrinking.
Yeah.
I think they're 3 points ahead of Columbus, but then Boston and Detroit would have to pass them. So they're still likely to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Still likely they're going to make it. Albeit it could be tighter than we thought, maybe like last year, maybe on the last game. So I'm thinking, you know what? Let's stop being conservative. Let's stop being afraid. I think he's been very good in the last few weeks.
He has.
Just bring him up. Give him his cup of coffee. He's going to play 10, 15 games in the NHL. And you know what? Bring him along slowly. Don't play him 23 minutes a night.
Yeah, against the top tier.
But can he really do worse than some of the guys over there? I don't think so. So
it looks pretty rough.
They really have nothing to lose. I would bring him up. I would bring up, I wouldn't have my hopes too high, but I would think, but one thing that I've noticed is that rookies who have had an opportunity to play in the big league the year before, they always have kind of an edge when it comes to, unless you're Matthew Schaefer, but we're talking.
He's an exception.
He's an extraterrestrial. But in general, it really helps when the guys have a few games behind their belt, and then when they get to training camp, and come October, if Reinbacher has like 10 games, just like Jacob Fowler is having now, Jacob Fowler will come to training camp. Okay, I know what this is about.
Comfortable.
So you don't have like the rookie jitters or the rookie wide-eyed rookie, or it's more. So I think what they did with Fowler is fine. They brought him up. I hope they keep him around. He lost yesterday, but he was good.
He was good,
and he was great against Ottawa. So look, I'm not sure if Reinbacher is going to be as good as Fowler is.
But
have
the same impact.
But you know what? Why not give him his games? It's part of the process.
That's it. It is part of the process. That's why I mentioned that Kent Hughes, right, in not doing a move. And again, we don't know the full extent of how far he got in those discussions for Connor Murphy or whoever else it was. But he did himself mention that, you know what, he wants to give time for his own players within the organization to get time and develop and play. I think that includes David Reinbacher. And if we're talking about earning your spot in the lineup, right? And I think that's what Martin St. Louis is trying to build right now, and taking out Gallagher, right? Taking out Bolduc, the guys who haven't exactly earned their minutes.
Yeah.
Well, David Reinbacher has earned his minutes. He's been playing fantastic in Laval. So Snake, let me ask you now, what do you think has made him so effective recently? Like, why all of a sudden the flip switch?
Reps.
That's it.
A defenseman,
it clicked.
Usually, for me, a defenseman, unless you're a star, it's 2 seasons in the HL.
Yeah.
2 seasons. 2 seasons is what? 150 games. The guy is way behind that mark right now.
He's got,
I don't know, 80 games maybe in the AHL.
He's got 48 this season.
Yeah. Plus the playoffs last year, plus a few games during the season. I think he's close to 80, 75, 80. He's about halfway through.
Yeah, he's got about 70.
Okay, he's about halfway through. So, but he's his talent is like above average. So maybe the 150 game mark wouldn't apply to a guy who's above average, because when you set these marks, like, okay, 2 seasons, it's usually for average defensemen. The guy who have been drafted late first round, second round, that type of player, Adam Engstrom.
Yeah.
You need those reps. The guy, for the first time in 2-3 years, has been healthy.
Yeah, that's it.
So he's been playing on a regular basis. He didn't get injured after 5-day games or 10 games. He's been playing on a regular basis. That's why I say it's reps. And like I said, it won't be perfect, but at some point you have to throw him to the wolves. He's 21 years old now.
Yeah.
I think it's time. And because the Habs this year, they have nothing to lose, really. Like you said, Shayne, anyone who thinks the Habs are going to win the cup, I mean, kind of dreams in Technicolor.
It's not the time yet.
And those who wish that they win one round, which is possible, I would say, that they win one round. Well, do you really think that playing Reinbacher and Fowler will set them back? If they're going to win one round, they can win one round with Reinbacher.
Yeah.
If they lose one round in round one, it's not going to be because they played Reinbacher.
No, exactly.
That's my take.
I'm right there with you. What do they have to lose? And Snake, we look back on last season now. Back in December, Kent Hughes made 3 adjustments to the team. And one of them wasn't really Kent Hughes. It was Patrick Laine being healthy, coming back to the team. But he traded for Alex Carrier.
Yeah.
And he brought up Jakob Dobesch. An injection, right? Some sort of mix up in the team. And boom, something clicked and they were rolling, right? I think that's what they need right now. Right now, it's stale. It's gone stale. That's what it feels like to me. I'm with you on the Reinbacher situation. We'd love to hear your thoughts. The viewers, the listeners, let us know. Is it the right time to call David Reinbacher up? Or you give him a little more time in Laval? Is it too early? Anything else to add on the subject before we move on?
Well, don't forget that Reinbacher, if the Habs get eliminated before the Rocket, he can actually go back to the Rocket and play there.
Fair point. That's
and
true.
Same with Fowler.
Yep. So there you go. All right. Well, I think it's time to talk about Michael Hage now.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Hage, look, okay, 50 points in 36 games with the Michigan Wolverines this season. Outstanding season, no doubt about that. He's got the 5th best points per game in the NCAA this year. Next game for Michigan is March 21st against Ohio State. And now, the NCAA, the way it works, right? Like after that, it's the NCAA regional tournament. That takes place March 27th to 29th. And then if you move forward, it's the NCAA Frozen Four from April 9th to 11th.
Yeah, and those are key dates.
Yes.
Michigan is going to be part of the tournament. For those who are not familiar with the way it works, it's there are 16 teams in the tournament, and what happened is it's one game.
Yeah.
So on Thursday, the 26th, I think, there's going to be 4 games. So 4 teams are gone. On the Friday night, 4 more teams are gone. 8 teams left for the weekend. 2 teams gone on Saturday, 2 teams gone on Sunday. 4 teams remaining. 4, but they get a 2-week break.
That's it.
And that's the key. Because if Michael Hage's Michigan team gets eliminated during that first weekend you mentioned, Michael Hage will have probably around 8-9 possible games with the Habs.
Yeah.
Because he can sign the day after, take a couple of days to practice with the team. We see it very often with NCAA players. They join the team very, very quickly. Zeev Bouillon last year.
Yeah. Cole Hudson this year.
Cole Hudson signed. Sasha Boisvert signed this morning just before we start recording. There's going to be a lot more. James Higgins is going to sign. So because, by the way, because Boston University was eliminated.
That's it.
Yeah. Higgins, he's with Boston College. Boston College is still alive. But Cole Hudson, his team is gone. So the minute Hage's Michigan team is gone, he can sign. But if he reaches the Final Four, there's 1 game left. Realistically, there's 1 game left, April 14th, which would be the last game of the season for the Habs. Could be a deciding game like last year, if you're going to make the playoffs or not. Look, they played Demidov last year. Played well.
Played twice.
I'm not saying Hage is Demidov, but still, I mean, teams do it.
Yeah.
It's not uncommon to have a team bring up an NCAA player playing his first game, and basically he's either in the playoffs or the team is fighting for a playoff spot. So it wouldn't be a first. And Hage will probably want to burn 1 year of his entry-level contract.
Yeah, that's it.
So that game would be the game where he can do it on the 14th. So ideally, for the Habs and Habs fans, Michigan gets eliminated. But Michigan has a very, very strong team.
Man, they're good.
Yeah, they're very good with Will Horkoff, Ivankovic in net. So right now, it's looking like Hage will play 1 game for the Habs.
Yeah. If the trend continues, they're going to make it far.
Yeah.
They're going to make it far.
Is he ready? I think it's very, very hard to predict how ready a player is.
Yeah.
Because I have seen players in the NCAA, which I thought, like, I give you an example, Gabe Perreault. Gabriel Perreault. He was playing with Will Smith, and after that, he played with James Higgins. He played with Ryan Leonard. On the same line. And then you're thinking, okay, is Perreault ready? Is Leonard ready? I think Leonard was ready. Perreault, I thought he was. Guess what? He was not.
No, went to the AHL.
And they were both very good players. Leonard may be stronger physically, more like an NHL type of player. But even then, when he got to Washington, I can't see. There was an adjustment period. This year is fine. Although that recently, I think he hit the rookie wall. So very, very hard to say. Zeev Bouillon last year, he was thrown to the Wolves.
Yeah.
Was he ready? I don't think so. So, and other guys, they just jump in. Cale Makar, about 7, 8, 9
Crushed
years
it.
ago against Calgary. He was amazing.
Yep.
Tyson Jost was brought in. He was not ready. So it's very hard to say. Anyone who can say that he knows for sure if Michael Hage is ready or not, I think is just guessing.
That's it. That's it.
They're just
That's all we
guessing.
can do.
Yeah.
That's all we could do. And look, we had Pierre Maguire on the Sick podcast, and he was asked the same question. Like, what are we expecting from Michael Hage when he turns pro? Will he go straight to the Habs? Will he go to the Rocket? And he was in favor of the Rocket instead. He doesn't think he's ready for the Habs just yet. If he goes to the Rocket, Snake, I mean, where does he fit in? What do we think from him? Because he could realistically be like the guy on offense, right? Like he's got that
but
potential.
the way it works, he would have to do like Middlestat did, Luke Middlestat.
Yeah.
Basically, you sign an amateur tryout or professional tryout, whatever it is, so he can play for the Rocket this year or a Laval Rocket contract, and then his entry-level contract kicks in next year.
He's not going to be in favor of that.
Top-end players don't do that.
No.
It works for a Middlestat who wants to get his feet wet, who's very happy to be getting a contract, very happy to be playing in the American Hockey League. But usually, I know there might be some examples that our listeners might can think of, but very rarely do we have a top-end player who signs a tryout, whatever, PTO, ATO, with an American Hockey League, and the entry-level contract kicks in the year after.
Yeah.
So I would think that Hage's agent will say, look, we want to burn that contract on April 14th.
So to clarify for viewers,
he cannot be sent down to Laval if he plays with the Habs this year.
There we go. That was
just
my
like
question.
Lane Hudson could not be sent to Laval 2
Ivan
years ago.
Demidov
Ivan
last year.
Demidov could not be sent down.
Perfect.
Because they were not on an AHL roster at a certain, and there's also other ramifications in the CBA. We're not going to go through all the details, but let's just say that if he signs with the Habs, he cannot play in Laval.
There we go. That's settled.
Next year, maybe, but not this year.
No more confusion. If you're watching, trust the process. Okay. We break it down to the detail.
Sean Farrell, I remember 3 years ago.
Correct.
Could not go to Laval. He played 6 games with the Habs. He could not go down to Laval before the following October.
Yeah. Snake, you mentioned Luke Middlestat. Let's take a few minutes here on him.
Yeah.
He's not exactly a well-known prospect within the organization.
Well, his name is well known because of his brother.
His last name, correct. But he played with the Minnesota Gophers, had a nice season there. He's joining the Laval Rocket, like you just mentioned. What are we expecting from him? What kind of ceiling does this player have? What can you tell the viewers about Luke Middlestat?
I think Middlestat obviously is a long shot to make the NHL, like most guys, picked in later rounds.
That's fair.
However, sometimes, although he has a little bit of offense in him, he's not going to be an offensive guy. Although sometimes I think that late round picks who are like defensive defensemen have a better chance of making it than late round picks who are offensive defensemen.
There you go.
Because at some point you can develop a niche, a skill, and you're thinking, maybe I can be another, bench or rot. Whereas if you have like a smaller guy, like I'll take the Sharks, Luca Cagnoni, who's had great numbers in the AHL last year. He's a very good small offensive defenseman, but if you're a small offensive defenseman, unless you're Quinn Hughes or Lane Hudson, you're not going to make it.
You have to be exceptional.
Whereas a guy like Middlestat, he could carve himself a niche, and at some point there's a need. And very often, if you look at the rosters, break down the 32 rosters in the NHL. Look at the third pairing guys, the big guys, the guys who have these very blah stats, but who get 16, 17 minutes a game. Look at where they were selected. A lot of them were selected late in the draft, just like goalies.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. So that's it for Luke Middlestat. Now, like we've been talking about here, right? The NCAA season is coming to an end for certain teams.
Yeah.
And there are free agents, okay? There are players who were never drafted by an NHL team. And we remember last season, right? Quinn Hudson, the brother of Lane, signed with the Edmonton Oilers. There's these situations. And the Laval Rocket actually signed Dylan Bentley from UMass Lowell. So the question begs to be asked. Are there any interesting NCAA free agents this year, Snake?
Okay. No. The short answer is no. There's a guy I like. Well, I like for who he is, for what he is. TJ Hughes. Yeah. He's from Michigan, but he's 24 years old already.
That's it.
Energy player, perhaps. Who knows? There's no Colin Graff this year.
No.
Okay, Colin Graff 3 years ago or 2-3 years ago was the top price. A lot of people saw him as a third liner with modest stats.
He's playing on the first line now.
The guy's playing the first line. I don't think he'll be playing on the first line when the Sharks become a contender, if they do. But he screams middle of the lineup player, which is fantastic for a college free agent.
It's great.
And I think he saw an opportunity in San Jose because very often these guys will sign. They won't necessarily sign with Colorado. They'll sign with teams where they see holes. Agents go through rosters.
Yep.
And they see, okay, the Sharks, pretty bad.
That's it.
And he got his chance. So there's no probably the best the top free agent of all time is an old guy for guys like you, Shayne. Adam Oates, probably heard of him.
Yeah.
One of the top scorers in the history of the NHL. Yeah. He was a March NCAA free agent. Okay, but that's 40 years ago. So it goes to show you that it doesn't happen very often. Martin Saint-Louis also. Yeah, Martin Saint-Louis in Vermont.
Yeah.
So there are not many guys like these. And this year, forget it. I mentioned TJ Hughes, but I think he's worth a flyer. It's a 1-year contract. You send it like Quinn Hudson was. You send him to the American Hockey League, see what happens. Could be an energy player. The rest, absolutely forget it. I even think that although these players cost nothing in terms of assets, I think this year it's a big waste of time.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
But if in 3 years there's a graph coming out of this crop, then you can say, Snake, didn't do your homework.
Yeah. Clip it, Sammy. Clip it. Look, we'll turn it over to the viewers now. If anybody has any names that maybe we overlooked or you think could be interesting specifically for the Montreal Canadiens to sign, let us know in the chat section. Snake, before we move along, I think it's a perfect opportunity for me to tell everybody about our great partners here at the Sick Podcast. I want to start off with a shout out to the people who are making our butts comfortable here in the Sick Podcast studio. That's right. Mobilier Menorah.
Very comfy.
Okay. They provided these beautiful chairs and they can take care of your butts as well. Listen, they've been around since 1977. Okay. They've been producing high quality sofas, beds, and chairs, all made right here in Quebec. They're solid, comfortable, and well designed. Perfect for relaxing after a long day. Mobilier Menorah is quality without compromise. Of course, another shout out to our partners, Cheapest T-shirts. Our good friend Nick there is an absolute gem, and we love him here at the Sick Podcast, and we love Cheapest T-shirts. Folks, it's simple. If you're looking for the cheapest prices on wholesale apparel in Canada, you will find them at cheapesttshirts.ca. They're proudly Canadian and trusted by thousands of customers from coast to coast. They deliver unbeatable value every day. You'll always get the cheapest prices, plus same-day shipping, and even next-day delivery, so your order arrives fast. Enjoy free shipping on larger orders and a simple, easy-to-use website that makes online ordering a breeze. Get the cheapest deals in Canada today at cheapesttshirts.ca. And last but not least, our good friends over at Betway. Don't select a bust with Betway and get a deposit match-up bonus up to $300 on your first deposit. You can scan the QR code on the screen right there or click on the link in the details section to create an account and redeem your welcome offer. Now, the offer is only available for new customers. Terms and conditions apply. The offer is not available in Ontario, and you must be 18 years or older. Please play responsibly. With that, Snake, it's time to go digging in the mailbag. 3 great questions in the queue today. The first one is coming from VH, saying, with junior and NCAA seasons ending soon, which Habs prospects do you think are most likely to join the Rocket before the end of the season or in the summer?
Well, before the end of season, it all depends on what happens on their junior team or NCAA teams. So we mentioned Middlestat. Obviously, his team was eliminated, so he's able to play right away for the Rocket. But at the same time, they didn't sign LG Mooney from the same team, Minnesota.
He's
I think LG Mooney,
yeah.
he had a very good freshman season, but he needs to go back. He needs to bulk up. But he's a nice little sleeper prospect, let's say.
For sure.
Yeah. Either as a trade chip or for the Habs. So there's other guys. You take a guy like Hayden Papanekis, third-round pick last year. He's 18 years old. Going to be 19 next year. Sometimes when junior teams are eliminated early in the process, like late March, they can get a tryout, for a few games with the farm team. I don't know if they're going to do it with Papanekis. It's possible.
Well, he's going to the Memorial Cup anyways, right?
Yeah, that's
Kelowna
the
this
season. That's
season.
the thing, but the Rocket could still be alive in June.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's going to the Memorial Cup, so that would be in June. So highly doubtful. And also there is a new rule now. Next year, NHL teams will be allowed to send one 19-year-old junior player, and I'm saying junior player from Canada.
Yeah.
Doesn't include NCAA. You can send 20 19-year-old guys from the NCAA, but one junior, major junior player. Papanekis would be the only one that would fit those criteria with another guy like McNeil, who was a 7th-round pick. But really, the higher profile guys, it's only Papanekis. I'm not crazy about Papanekis' season. I think he needs to go back to junior hockey. He has to prove something because so far he has not been very good. So at least his progress has not been great. So I think next year you can have a guy like Owen Protz, the defenseman.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to go back to junior hockey as a 20-year-old. So he could sign his entry-level contract, play with the Rocket next year. And who else did we mention?
Well, it was Bryce Pickford. A lot of people.
Pickford,
he already signed his contract. Yeah.
Bryce Pickford obviously is going to sign his contract. He's another one who's going to the Memorial Cup.
Yeah,
because he's with
Medicine Hat or Wagon.
Papadakis is with Kelowna, but Pickford is with Medicine Hat. He might be going to the Memorial Cup. They have like the best team on paper in the WHL. So that's another one. Will he go to the Rocket or not? If they get eliminated early, could he go to the Rocket or not? I think it's not out of the question in Pickford's case.
Yeah.
But for sure he's going to be there next year. So I think that's about it. There's Michael Hage that we talked about. Will he be in Laval next year or Montreal? We shall see what the Habs decide to do. But if he starts the season in Laval and he really puts up great numbers, I think he's going to be up by November.
Wow. There you go.
And the other guys, like we said, LG Mooney is not going to be coming anytime soon. So, and the goalies, Alexis Cournoyer.
Yeah, he won.
Quentin Miller, I think they're both going to stay in the NCAA at some point. They're both going to sign contracts, and one of them will probably go to Trois-Rivières. The other one might go to Laval. It depends on the situation with the goalies, because right now the Habs will probably have 3 NHL goalies next year.
Yeah.
If they don't trade Montembeault or waive Montembeault during the summer.
Yeah.
So they might have like 3 goalies. But then if Fowler and Dobesh are, mind the net, and Montembeault is traded or waived or whatever, bought out, then there are openings in Laval. Will they re-sign Kakkonen? They might re-sign Kakkonen for another year. He was good. But maybe if he's good in the playoffs, he might sign elsewhere, just like last year. He was good in the playoffs. Yeah, he signed with Montreal. They never called him up, and which was kind of interesting that they never called him up.
Yeah,
I know that if he's being sent down, he has to go through waivers. I get it, and maybe didn't want to lose him for Laval, but still, he was still. Originally, I thought he was going to be the number 3 goalie in the organization while Fowler develops. But, things change. So I think that's about it
Yeah.
for prospects. I don't think I've forgotten anyone.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
Moving on to the second question here. This one is coming from Steve. Question for Snake. What would be your self-evaluation as a junior level scout versus a pro scout? Do you feel equally competent in both scouting categories? Maybe it's just an impression, but it seems to me that your best calls are usually on junior age player evaluations, whereas several of your quotes that haven't aged well involve players who have already been drafted and others who already play in the NHL.
I like that question. Well, first of all, I have quotes that have not aged well about junior players,
Hey,
but maybe they are
everyone
not
does.
as visible, or they're not as known by the audience. So I had some very bad picks like Tyson Jost, who I thought was going to be a 70-point man. Now he's a fourth liner. So there's guys like that. Then there's tons of them.
Of course.
But yeah, I did have good calls like Tim Stützle, number one in 2020. So that was a very good call, I think, because everyone was like Lafreniere. It was Lafreniere all the way. It was unanimous. And I went against the flow, and because I believed in Stützle.
Yeah.
So I think on both sides, I have some good and bad takes, but I think our listener refers to the takes I had on Lane Hudson in Montreal. Kapanen, although Kapanen, look, can we give it 2-3 years? I know he had 20 goals. I'm not denying the fact that he has a good shot. He scored some nice goals this year, but I still don't think he's
not proven.
liner.
He's not proven yet.
No. But I think that's why these stakes sometimes. But maybe Logan Mailloux will make me look silly. That was another take that I had. We'll see. Again, it's a very small sample, but he's been good in the last couple of weeks. So maybe that's why the listener thinks I had some good calls about pro players too. Now, to answer the question in general and not focus just on samples, I think technically it is easier to scout a pro player. And when I mean a pro player, I'm talking a 25, 26, 27-year-old.
Of course, proven commodity.
Proven. You know where it stands. You know you don't know the aging curve exactly, but you have an idea. So obviously, if I make a comment about a certain player, where he's at, if he's being traded to another team, I think most people, including myself, will be more right than wrong.
Yeah,
because it's easier. But there's one thing also that I have to mention. It's Monday confession.
Oh.
When it comes to drafted players, undrafted players, we don't know where they're going. So I'm kind of neutral. If Gavin McKenna, where the hell is he going to go? Vancouver, St. Louis, Rangers, Winnipeg, some odd team winning the lottery like Shayne last
Islanders,
year. You never know. But when it comes to drafted players, I find that fan bases around the NHL, in any sport, baseball too, they see their prospects so much bigger than they are.
Of course.
In general. I mean, there are some great prospects, but they see their prospect pool as the future starting lineup. I see it, whenever Baseball America publishes their top 10 prospects for any given team, the Yankees, the Mets, the Dodgers, scouts go through the list. Oh, that's going to be our catcher. That's going to be our first baseman. That's going to be our second baseman. No, that's not what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Prospects turn into suspects very quickly. So sometimes when I try to temper down expectations, I might go a little bit too far. Just because I'm kind of sick of hearing about a prospect.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, so it's not good. I'm supposed to be neutral.
Yeah.
But it happens sometimes that I'm so sick of hearing about a guy. It's like, okay, he's not going to be that good. Whereas as a junior player, I see it on a very, very neutral level, because prospects in general are not really, most of them, 99% of them, are not overhyped.
No, that's it.
If I tell you about, I don't know, Keaton Verhoff right now, is he being overhyped?
No.
Okay, McKenna maybe was at the beginning of the year.
It's settled.
Yeah,
it's settled now.
but maybe it was at the beginning of the day. But in general, whereas the day after the draft, this 6th round pick, Blues fans or
biggest
Blues
steal.
fans,
Biggest steal.
that's a steal. That's it. And then I'm like, okay, calm down, people. And then sometimes it's a bad take because there are some guys who become much better than the where they were drafted.
Yeah.
How they were seen by the industry, how they were seen by me. I mean, Lane Hudson, I had him as an early 2nd round pick. Okay, around 35, 40.
There we go.
Okay, my colleague from Mathias' Serpent podcast, Mathias, I remember that night he wanted the Habs to draft him at 26 instead of Michar. So he had him ranked higher than I did. So kudos to him. But then the guy is drafted 62nd, and odds are the 62nd player overall doesn't make it.
No, that's it.
Or he's a 4th liner or a 7th defenseman. So very often I play probabilities with certain guys. We mentioned small defensemen like Cagnoni. Maybe he'll make it, maybe he won't. But I'm just saying that I played the probabilities a lot. So because you can't guess. I mean, it's not a science.
No.
So the closest to a science it can be is by playing the probabilities. So let's say I see, just to conclude on this thing, I see a guy like a 6'7" or 6'8" foot center. Chances are he's going to have a hard time skating. He's not going to be very mobile. He's going to be a little bit awkward. So a guy like Dean Letourneau, I had him 2nd round. He was playing in a weak caliber. He was playing in high school hockey.
Yep.
He was playing in a weak caliber. So I'm thinking, okay, Dean Letourneau to me is not a 1st round pick. Well, guess what? I went to see him last year at in Vermont for Boston College. He had 0 goals. I came back from that game and I went on my French podcast and I said, wow, I think I was wrong with this guy. He has way more balance than I thought. He's more agile than I thought. Yeah, he's 6'7", but he doesn't look that awkward. He's a 4th liner right now, but man, watch this guy.
Yeah.
He got 20 goals this year.
Yeah, he broke out. That's it.
He broke out. But chances are usually before the draft, I see a 6'7" center. The guy doesn't make it.
Yeah.
So you see, so that's why sometimes I can look very bad because I play probabilities, but then I try to readjust.
There you go. All right. Last but not least, the 3rd question. This one is coming from Jeffrey Gordon. Let me ask this question. I'm a Habs fan. I've been my whole life. Now, Jacob Fowler was drafted 3rd round, 67th overall. Carey Price went 5th overall. So it's safe to assume that he's not expected to be the caliber of Price. I don't understand why he's being anointed the next great Canadiens goalie.
Okay. Well, he's a Habs prospect. No, I'm kidding. I like Jacob Fowler a lot. I think what happens with goalies, and we see it throughout the league, especially with European goalies, go through the top 15, 20 goalies in the NHL. Who was a number 1 pick? A round 1 pick? Vasilevsky?
Yeah.
I don't think Askarov is a top 15 goalie. Maybe Spencer Knight in Chicago is getting there.
Was Ottinger picked in the 1st round?
Ottinger was picked in the 1st round. He's one of them.
Yeah.
But look at all these guys from the 5th, 6th, 7th round. I think with goalies, Carey Price was an exception. He was a jewel. I think he was as close as it's possible to being a can't-miss prospect.
Yeah, sure thing.
But Pascal Leclerc also was drafted number 8 a couple of years before Carey Price. He didn't make it. Kari Lehtinen was drafted number 2 in 2002. He was a very average goalie. And that's when teams learned their lesson, that you don't draft a goalie in the top 5 anymore because there were too many flops.
Yeah.
So I think with goalies, forget about where they're selected.
That's it.
It's see what they do afterwards in the NCAA, in Europe. The Habs have very good prospects right now. They're not all going to make it, but all these guys were late round picks. So, Cournoyer and Miller and Vorokin and Fowler, none of them was drafted in the top 2 rounds. Now, the best goalies have a tendency to be drafted in round 2. over the last few years. But some guys drafted in rounds 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 can become better. So no worries. I mean, there's a lot of hype around Fowler because it is Montreal, but he's also very good. And it has nothing to do with the fact that he was chosen in the third round. Because when the guys are chosen, don't forget that these goalies were not junior level goalies. They come from very weak leagues, schools, junior leagues in Europe, in Finland and Russia. They're not very strong leagues. So you're throwing a dart. So even if a guy has great stats in, I don't know, some Russian junior league, he has a 154 goals against average. Are you going to spend a second round pick or first round pick on this guy? No. But then if he develops, a la Shesterkin or Henrik Lundqvist or all these guys who were drafted late, then you say, wow, why didn't you take this guy in the first round? So I think that's the reason, because good junior CHL goalies are usually drafted early, like Ravensburgen last year.
Yeah.
He was drafted by San Jose in the first round. Will he be the top goalie in the draft? You know what? Chances are no. But at the time, he was a known quantity.
That's it.
So that's
Columbus also picked a Russian goalie in the first round last year.
Yeah.
But Snake, I mean, look, let me ask you a quick question here as we wrap up. Who's your pick for the Vezina this year?
Oh, that's a good question. Who's yours?
Listen, I don't think there's a standout, runaway like Connor Hellebuyck last year, but I got to give some love to Ilya Sorokin. Okay. Like the Islanders are the Matthew Schaefer team. Let's be real, but they've gotten incredible goaltending this year. Like it's propelled them way beyond where they should be. Ilya Sorokin was picked in the third round, right? That's the point I'm trying to make here. Connor Hellebuyck wasn't a first round pick. He wasn't even deemed to be, the next one, right? He kind of just came onto the scene and blew up, right? So that's where I think the question kind of goes wrong, is because you can't really, tu peux pas te fier au rang de sélection. En bon français.
No, you can't.
You really can't do that.
No.
So it's all about the body of work. Snake, we've gotten through all the questions, all the topics. Anything else to add before we get out of here?
We're going to see you guys on Thursday. And if you have any questions, comments, suggestions for topics, I have a few in the bank, but we always welcome those suggestions because our listeners this year have been absolutely fantastic.
Incredible.
A nice community that we have.
Yes.
And I enjoyed the questions, even the tough ones, like the one from our friend who talked about my takes.
Listen, those are the best ones.
Don't be shy.
We hold each other accountable. We say the truth here. We're not afraid of anything. We're not going to shy away from any topic. Okay. So send in your questions, send in your recommendations. And again, we thank you all for tuning in. Subscribe, like the show, send it to your friends, send it to your grandma, send it to your aunt, whatever it may be, and hit the hype button. It does actually help if you don't know where it is, because for some reason YouTube doesn't really, showcase it. You kind of have to scroll on the section where it's, like, dislike. Maybe hopefully you're not clicking that one, but you kind of have to scroll, and then hype should be right there. Anyways, you'll figure it out. You're all very smart. So that'll do it for us today. We'll be back again on Thursday, of course. Haven't decided on a topic yet. We might just take one of your suggestions. So for Simon, the Snake Boisvert, thank you to Sammy and Juliana and in yellow back at Master Control. I'm producer Shayne. This has been another edition of the Sick Podcast. Trust the process. We'll see you Thursday.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast, Trust the Process on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.